Hey everybody,
Hi.
we are outside drinking wine with you today.
It's a great season for outdoor drinking.
Yeah, we want to prove to you.
I mean, tasting.
Yeah, tasting. We are doing our Old North State virtual wine tasting. We have a lot of activity up the restaurant, so Chris and I snuck over to his back porch on this chilly December afternoon to film our video so that we could drink together.
Finally, it turns cold on the day we come outside to.
It was 70 yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if it's been 70 for a week, and then like, oh, let's go do this, and now it's 30.
That's all right.
All right.
The wine will keep us warm.
True enough. Thank
Well,
you.
if you don't know, we do a Thursday night tasting every Thursday at 6 p.m. at the restaurant. And for those that can't be there, we offer this virtual tasting. And it's been well received.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun for us, too.
It is fun.
Not just for you kids at home, but we enjoy putting this show together.
Sure. Yeah, our top-notch production, as you can see. Well, Chef, we're going to start in Portugal this week. And I want to show you how light and lovely that is. This is a beautiful offering for Mr. Ramos, and I've been really high
Ramos,
on Ramos Albarino, their Syrah blend. I mean, he does so many great things all across Portugal from top to bottom. This happens to be in Vinho Verde. Vinho Verde is in the northern part of Portugal, and it specializes in white wines. Typically, they're going to be style, not necessarily a particular grape. This one happens to be a particular grape, and it also happens to be what I would consider a finer representation of this area. One of the things I want to make note here too, that the alcohol is significantly more than most Vinho Verdes, which usually come in around 9.5. This is actually at 12%.
Wow.
This is typical of high-end producers across the world. They tend to have more alcohol in everything they make. There's a few exceptions, but that's a general statement. This is Loero. It's a grape that is certified or not certified, but expected to be in blends in that area. It may or may not be paired with several different grapes, or not at all in a Vinho Verde. Vinho Verde has quite a range of grapes it can be, but the key here is that Vinho Verde needs to be a style, and this is the style.
It's a great style. Who dropped all these lime leaves in this one?
Right? And boom. Now, oftentimes Vinho Verde can also have a little bit of bubbles in it, but it's only about half of them that do. And this is actually a very still wine in terms of Vinho Verde, which I think it makes it even more intense.
Oh, it's super intense. I mean, this is what you're in for from the first sip.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
It gets your attention.
It's very. The pucker factor is right up there, but I guess a lot of that's the acid and the.
Oh, absolutely.
But the lime is just kicking on this. It's just it's a big time wine.
Yeah, absolutely, and we expect that. We expect lime when we drink Vinho Verde. We expect fun and light. This is a little more serious. This is why I want to bring this to you today, is because I've shown many of Vinho Verde at our Thursday night tastings and our chef's table, and people like it and they understand it. And I've always told them that this is a very typical style, but they make other styles that are more serious, and so no one's really had this. In our circles anyway.
Sure.
And so I wanted to say, hey, this is what I've been talking about when I say there's a more serious style out there. This is it.
This is it.
This is almost like Sauvignon Blanc, but tropical. I always think of Sauvignon Blanc being more citrus, grapefruit, lime, lemon.
Lime, yeah.
And that kind of underripe pineapple. This to me is
more
ripe
minerality in a Sauv Blanc. This doesn't have the. I mean, it has some minerality to it, but it's not. This is more on the.
Yeah.
It's more intense. Wow.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, like you said, there is an underlying note at the end of minerality, but it is certainly fruit driven. Mr. Ramos, who, like I said, we've been we did a Portuguese chef's table with the Portuguese wines just a month or so ago. And actually, Mr. P.J. Snow was at that. As a matter of fact, the Snow family was there.
They were for that.
And that was a lot of fun. But we kind of did a full gamut of different styles of Portuguese wine. So they've really been on our radar lately. And
well, let's just go ahead and say it. We're man crushing on Ramos.
We are, yeah. Ramos.
I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Beast mode, and just really high quality everywhere you go. And the price does not reflect that. The price is
Isn't that
incredible.
crazy? The value across the board, even on the high end, the value's there.
Yep.
It's insane.
Great mouthfeel here as well. It's not as lean as you might think it would be. I think part of it is usually when we have that carbonated style of Vinho Verde, it lightens up the drink a little bit, but without that effervescence in there, you can really taste the weight of the wine.
Well, and the weight is really more predominant after the second sip. You know, your first sip is a little astringent to the palate because there's so much fruit and citrus. However, you know, be patient. You know, it's the weight really comes on the second and third sip when it's warmed up a tad. Not that anything's getting warm out here, but the wine itself is warming up in the glass. And so after the initial citrus, the weight of it really is predominant. Delicious.
That's a really nice treat.
Absolutely delicious.
And you're looking at under $15 for a world-class producer.
Crazy.
Just doesn't happen in most parts of the world that you get this quality.
You can't get anything good for $15.
With a name brand. You know, this is, in my opinion, the biggest name in Portugal as far as winemakers go.
Well, and certainly, I mean, you look at his wines. Oh, we talked about it earlier. It's across the board.
Yeah, reds, whites.
He doesn't have a dog.
Inexpensive,
anywhere.
Middle of the pack, high end.
So, and I'm sure that will change as Portugal gets more of a footprint outside of their, you know, as they grow as an importer or exporter rather, outside of just port. I think you're going to see these wines starting to get more press and more exposure, and certainly those price points aren't here to stay.
I want to make a note too that by listing the grape Luero on this Vinho Verde, he's doing this area a great service because Vinho Verde can be so many different varietals, and it's really nice that they're kind of trying to get you familiar with some of the grapes. I think Portuguese #1 hurdle in the global sales is people don't understand the names of the grapes, and it's not like
Probably hurts Spain too a little bit.
probably yeah,
Not as much because
yeah.
Spain is like such a renowned, it's a household thing. But
sure,
yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, but Portugal was late to the game in terms of promoting their varietals, and so I'm glad they're doing it now because Luero is a beautiful grape. It's intense, and in this particular case, it's rich.
Well, and Spain and the other places don't have this huge, iconic brand to overcome either. You know, where Spain and France and Italy and all these places that may have a lot of intimidating names that are hard to say, they're still not battling port.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because port is the signature beverage. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, another big thing is that they're most always blended. They blend all their wines, so it makes it a little bit harder for people to understand. So now you can taste specifically what this grape tastes like. And if it's in a blend, you don't really know what you're tasting. Which grape am I tasting? Which part of each grape? Yeah, which part?
Anything.
Here, there's a great way to learn about a grape, and add that to your list of great grapes that you've had. Dan Nelson and I, he got me signed up for this Century Club, and it's if you get 100 varietals of wine under your belt, you get like a little badge and a T-shirt. And after 20 varietals, it gets hard. You can rattle off 20 varietals that are at your grocery store shelves, but then you have to start thinking and working a little bit. And I know there's guys out there and gals out there that have probably crossed the 250 mark and 500 mark, But if you want to have a lot of fun with wine, start with Lorero and start that list of wines, particularly 100% if you can. I mean, I know sometimes you're going to have to go with a blend, but if you can get single varietals of 100
There
different
can be
grapes.
enough of that varietal. I mean, enough of that grape in a varietal to cross it off as a taste, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be a great Christmas gift for your wine drink. Your little dossier where you can keep track of all these different varietals that you're drinking.
I think everybody would enjoy that. Chef, I know we've been talking about the wine. What are you thinking about food-wise?
Well, I think
now that you've tried it.
I think a great poached shrimp with a little fennel relish would be
yeah.
great on this. We've got made a little fennel relish with some fennel from York Farm. Will probably last this season, I would imagine. We've got a little celery in it, and actually a little lime juice as well. So I think the fennel and the shrimp are going to pick well up.
I like it. That will be lovely. We are, of course, are filming on Tuesday, so I won't get to try that till Thursday. Now we are only doing virtual this week because of a conflict of a party this week. So I expect we'll have more viewers this week for the people that can't be here. That they'll be out there drinking this delicious one.
And probably not a bad deal. You know, the cold weather revisiting us this December, and I mean this week rather. You're sitting at home with your little package and your wine may not be a bad place to be this week.
Mm-hmm. Every week. All right, so we were talking about Portugal, and you had brought up Spain, so let's do some Spanish wine. La Cartuja, Priorat. Priorat's the region, and this is a cute little map here for those of you that are geographically challenged. That little insert right there is Portugal that we were just at, and now we're moving over to Priorat. Priorat is a wonderful, wonderful region. Many consider the best wines. I know Rioja will have some say-so in that, but Priorat has a beautiful soil, almost black crystalline soil called Licorella that certainly contributes to its unique flavor profile. It doesn't taste like any other Spanish wines. As a matter of fact, it doesn't taste like any other wines in the world. And interesting enough, Priorat doesn't have a designation of what grape. It's not necessarily a grape, it's the soil or the terroir that really makes Priorat special. This happens to be Garnacha and Mezzuelo, a beautiful little blend. And you know what? Let's get down and dirty. The nose is huge, I can tell you.
Huge. So it tastes, I'm not going to jump in, but it tastes different than the nose. That nose is intimidating. It's like licorice on licorice.
Yes. So it might come across maybe gamey.
I was going to say maybe a little
funky a little bit.
A little funky, almost like the oh Lord, what's that wine? What's that South African red?
Oh, the gosh darn it!
I'll think of it in a second.
We're both brain freeze on that.
But
I was just talking about that.
It reminds me of that, although it tastes so different than its bouquet. But yeah, this is delicious.
So very fruity wine on the palate here. The nose is earthy, gamey. Don't be afraid. Dive right in there. You're gonna love it.
That's outstanding.
Very old world on the nose.
It's so smooth. My goodness, it just lays out.
Particularly
so
for
well.
such a young wine, only 3 years old. A beautiful acidity here, but it's softened enough. But you can tell it's got a lot of life left in it too.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, these are kind of made. They're structured for that, aren't they? I mean, 5-6 years.
Easy.
To be fun.
Not a problem. Yeah, this is. I just had a little. We had a very old Spanish wine 2 years ago, and this is kind of reminiscent of that. The there is some Spanish qualities to this because it's from Spain, but there is something different about Priorat. It does separate itself from the rest of the country. I'm not saying that to be a negative Nancy. I'm just saying this is a place that really does have its own terroir, which, we are a big
its
fan
own
of.
sensitive
Yeah,
place.
yeah, we always want that. Just like we want that for the Yadkin Valley here.
The anytime you drink a wine and you can say it's reminiscent of, or it tastes like it's from the area it tastes like, regardless of what it is. I mean, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah,
When you can capture that terroir in the bottle, regardless of what varietal it is, and people can go, that's what it is. I mean, that's a huge deal. I would imagine for any winemaker, anyone in a specific region that's been there for a long period of time, that's a huge boon and badge of honor to them to make a wine that's indicative of their area, regardless of what they were trying to do.
right. The man, the fruit's really kicking
Fruit
on
is,
this.
it's just opening up like a gem.
There's a I don't think this saw much oak, but there's a woodiness that's coming to the front. There's like leather. It's really, really complex for
That leather strap, it's like the molasses without
Yeah.
the sweetness.
Yes.
No sweetness at all, but that mouth feel of molasses, like
Sure.
you're onto something,
Yep.
but not jammy. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, because the texture is quite light.
Light.
You could do some damage on this.
Yep.
It says it's 14.5% alcohol. I hardly get any sense of it.
I know normally,
well
usually when we're
integrated.
talking about percentages, when we're drinking reds, we're like there on the bottom. And they did the exact, they went as far down as they possibly could without admitting it's 16. But I feel like this is on the underside of that. I mean, it's not drinking hot at all. I mean, it's very
No, it's
balanced.
beautiful.
It's a gorgeous balance on this. I know we're outside drinking, so it's not warming like it normally would, but it's showing out. That third, fourth sip, I mean, it's really blooming in the glass.
I'm digging this a lot. So my old world fans out there are gonna really like this, and I think that the new world people, the California wine lovers, can really appreciate the fruit here. And this might be a good entryway
Thank you,
into the old world, into those old world smells and flavors that what many Californians would say is maybe false, but we like those characteristics.
Well, I'd be hard pressed to listen to anything someone from California had to say, but they do make some great wine.
They do
But
that.
that doesn't mean that's pretty arrogant for somebody who's been doing something less than 100 years to tell somebody's doing something thousands of years. But what is or isn't correct?
Man,
But
that's pretty.
that's California for you.
There's just something about the color here. It's almost got a little brownish hue to it.
It's almost like they call it that Rutherford dust.
It's
dusty.
Very, very fine tannin.
It's got the swampiness of a Rhone wine,
Yes.
with the dustiness of a Rutherford wine, with the nose of a South African wine. I mean, so it's pulling. Now, of course, if you're from Priorat, you're saying all those other places are pulling from us. But what I'm saying is it's pulling. That's what's reminiscent of all these different areas that are
right.
3 distinctly different areas, all present in one glass.
Yeah, it's if you don't know, Priorat's just south of France. It's on the eastern coast, basically, very close to the coast of Spain. And so you're talking about hot. You're talking about lots of sunshine. You can
Overripe.
taste. You can taste. You can taste that this grape's got some serious sunshine, and we're grateful for that. Another great little region that kind of horseshoes around Priorat, Monsanto, is a great place to also dive into. Maybe we'll do that in a future episode for sure. But right now we're going to enjoy this beautiful Priorat. Chef, now that you've tasted it, what are you thinking?
Well, we were talking about the woodiness of it. So wouldn't you think a mushroom would serve well? I mean, that's where we're getting all our mushrooms is from wood.
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
luck would have it, we just got in a shipment of the Walden cheese from Saskatchewan Cove, which is a walnut and shiitake.
Oh, yeah.
soft.
I didn't think we'd see that again.
Me either. I scooped it all up. I bought everything they had.
Good idea.
They only had like 5 of the crotons.
Yeah.
But I got them all because I didn't think we'd see it again this year either. But boy, what a great timing to go with this. The hint of shiitake and walnut with that beautiful brie style cheese. I think it's really going to be right at home with
And I'm going to encourage people to eat that outside with their wines, because this is lovely, Chef.
This is lovely, and I mean, you know, we complained all summer how hot it was. And we get a couple of chilly days. We're like, go run inside and turn the heat on. And it's like, no, I don't want to turn the heat on. This is great.
Yeah, it's a little inconvenient right now, right? I guess our bodies just have to adjust.
Well, well, I think it's been such a whiplash too. I mean, we had that awful cold spell in November, where it was, I mean, every morning for like 8 days when I brought the dogs out, it was in the mid to low 20s, especially around Thanksgiving and before Thanksgiving. It was just so brutal. I was getting up early every day, before the sun up, and it was just brutal. Yep. And then we had this beautiful warm spell. So we haven't really, you know how you like get in a pool, you take one step and then you take another step and you kind of acclimate yourself. But there's been it's been extremes, extreme cold, extreme warm, and so now we're probably where we're supposed to be, but we haven't been able to kind of step down, acclimate to it.
Right. Well, I think that that little blend of earthiness, it just, to me, it screams this kind of outdoors chill.
Yes. I should have started a fire.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't.
There you go. Get a little
around
smoky
a fire, a little
going.
smoky fire, and have a little charcuterie out. And have some nice crispy bread with some soft cheese.
Right, invite a chef or a som over, or both.
What a great way to spend an evening, feeding us food and wine.
That's right. Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that opportunity?
Yeah. Well, it's always appreciated. All the oh gosh, you know what? We're at the gift giving part of the year.
We are.
And I've got to tell you,
my favorite time of year, because the wine's going back and forth.
That's right. I'll give you one. You'll give me one.
I mean, back. It's just, and then we drink them together.
Then we drink them together.
Thing.
So keep that in mind when you're purchasing your wines. Think about how much you guys have picked up drinking with us in person, or drinking with us on the virtual. How you can share that. This is something that Chris and we think that the whole world should know how great these wines are from around the world. Right. And I hope that y'all are sharing the things that you've discovered too with people that just wouldn't know. They wouldn't know unless someone spent the time that cared about them enough to explain it to them so they could understand it.
Walk them through it, the regions, the tasting notes, and hey, may try this with it.
Make it fun so it's not intimidating. I think too many people are intimidated by wine. They shouldn't be. We've been doing this for thousands of years. It's part of our DNA.
So it's a way of life. It's
our DNA. It's the expectations is that we should be drinking wine.
It's a way of life, and it should be with every meal, and it should be in between meals.
Especially breakfast.
There's so many great, and we've explored some breakfast wines.
Oh yes,
probably.
I think we've designated a lot of wines breakfast wines.
We have, and so this is important, especially on the weekends. I picked a very poor breakfast wine this Sunday because it was a dinner wine. So I had to.
You had to take a nap.
I had to take a nap. But,
Vinho Verde is usually good for breakfast because it's usually about 9.5%.
9.5% with a little effervescence.
This was about 12, so
this one may
be might be a
brunch.
Post-lunch. Not breakfast, but brunch.
This would be the mid-afternoon Vinho Verde, for sure. But, it's so hard to, I think, it's so important, rather, to plan ahead. Because I don't know about you, Chef, but when if I start drinking without a plan, the food is
it gets a little derailed,
secondary at best. Mm-hmm. And so I like to get up early and plan so that the food is ready for the day.
Right.
So when you do start drinking, you don't have to go.
It's real simple.
It's real simple and it's ready.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to put a lot of work into it. Of course, we don't have a lot of free time to do these things. So the more you can plan ahead, the better your day drinking is going to be.
Absolutely. For those of you that day drink.
I mean, we don't day drink except for when we can.
Right. Well, that's what days off are for, right?
Yes.
Well, it was great to go honor Mr. Snow on Sunday.
And to see the family.
See
and
the
we saw
family,
a lot
the family.
Of a lot of great friends.
It was
We
a
got
great turnout. So glad to see
Huge
such
turnout.
a huge show of support for the Snow family, and
rightfully so.
And it was a celebration. It wasn't a boo-hoo fest, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were plenty of tears, but they were
they were different.
Yeah.
Because PJ was such a positive influence on this world.
Yeah.
Not just his family and friends, but even the casual observer, anybody who interacted with him, had to be affected by his positivity and his infectious smile.
Yeah.
He always had a smile. He could tell you a story and he'd find the good in it and smile about it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And what a privilege to know him and his family. And yes, they're hurting, not to make light of that. But it was, and it was great to see everybody come out and support them.
Oh yeah,
and show their
it was
love.
great. It was a beautiful day, and we got suits on. We
were fancy.
We
We
tied
haven't
our
been
ties.
it's been a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
So,
I had to go through several different options so the fit would be right.
Well, and I told you, I didn't wear
I got my winter coat on a little early.
I didn't wear my funeral suit. Because I tried on my funeral suit, and I was like, well, guess I'll be wearing a wedding suit.
Yeah.
Because the funeral suit, she no fit too good.
I know the feeling, brother.
Yeah, she didn't fit too. I mean, I pulled it off, but I didn't want to be in the middle of a visitation and have some a fabric mishap.
Yeah, I think come January, there's got to be some decisions made for young E-Dog here.
Well, yeah, somebody told me, it was Matus actually. It was so funny when I walked into Thirsty Souls Sunday, not this Sunday. Last
Oh, it was
Sunday.
so great. Matus
You got to play soccer
Crisco
with
was
him.
back from Slovakia for a couple weeks. We got to play soccer with him, got to see him at the restaurant.
Oh, yeah, I got to see him at the restaurant. Well, I went down there last Sunday with Tamisa. Walked in, there's Matus. So he gets up, we're hugging and we're talking. It's great to see you. And he goes, have you lost weight? I was like,
God.
you want to kiss now
Right,
or later?
yeah.
Because, no.
That kid's
But
so
thanks
nice.
thanks
so
for,
nice.
for saying that. He's like, you
I
look great.
played terrible Sunday night, and after the game, I was like, man, I just love your passes. I mean,
He
I mean, like
found
you
something
find something good all the time.
good.
What a
Always.
great kid.
He's a great kid.
He's a
From
doctor.
a great
He's
family,
a doctor. Now.
He's
I call him a
and
kid.
he even plays soccer professionally.
Yep, semi-pro.
Semi-pro, and whilst, and Jan tells me stuff. He's like, he works in a pretty tough unit over there.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot.
He's in a tough spot over there, so his doctoring skills take a big toll, and he has kept his. It hasn't changed him, and that's always a big character sign that
Yeah,
he's doing a really tough job in a tough ward over there, but he's keeping his demeanor, and he's not letting it change him, and that says a lot about him and his family, of course.
sure does. Jan's very proud of him, and I love to see that too.
Yeah, you have to. His sisters love him too. Which is
Oh
great.
yeah, he was wanting to bail on us to go see Pauline.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just one beer, come on. All right, so everybody, you're up to date on everything. We got two beautiful wines, one under $15, one under $25, that are going to surely impress whoever you pour it in front of. But it gives you a chance to explain different places in the world that are making excellent wines. We should know about these wines, honestly, but we don't always know about these areas, and so it's up to us to spread the word.
The
So
good
now-
word.
That's right. Now it's up to you to share that knowledge. Remember, if you need anything wine-wise for the holidays, we're happy to put together a gift.
Santa Claus right here is your man.
You want a quick, easy bailout, I can put 2, 6 bottle, whatever little package together for you, and you can really make a difference in someone's quality of life, because wine really does increase the quality of life.
Well, I tell you what, and not that, regardless of what I'm ever given, and this is not to say that any gift isn't felt with the weight of
Sure.
of the giver. It was better getting wine.
Well,
I mean, if someone gives you a bottle of wine, birthday,
you do get that little,
week,
skip
I
in
mean,
your heart.
anytime someone gives you wine, I mean, you're like, you love me.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a great gift.
Straight to the heart. All right, everybody. Always a pleasure. Chef, stay warm.
God.
See you next week.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.